don't know though why it's running slow or why it's lagging.
We're live!
We are live.
And it was lagging a little bit, so we were sitting there going, is that going live? Are we going
I
live?
don't understand why it's lagging and why it's slowing down. So we may come across like a little bit, like with a lag behind, but I don't know the reason why. Because I've taken a load of stuff off the laptop and closed it down, reopened it, all of that jazz. But yeah.
Well, there we are. So we're back on. We've still got our Bailey's collection behind, as you can see, but you will also notice a little difference because the Christmas decorations are all down, so it's quite plain.
Oh, down, and it is plain.
We were looking at things that we could do to stick on the back there, just to keep you guys entertained and something to do. It also makes a nice little vocal touching point when we do that. But yeah, for now, it's going to stay plain. Funny enough, the view you see, as I say before, this is what people see at my workplace. So this is exactly where I would work when I'm working from home. And the first thing that people always say when I speak to somebody is that Bailey's behind you? So then I've got to go with this rigmarole going through, yes, chocolate, normal, yes, it's a pina colada, da, 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 da. And they go through it. I think they think I'm an alcoholic. So I try. So because we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10 odd bottles of Bailey's.
How many bottles are there?
Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we've got the 3 smaller ones. And those, so the smaller pack, as you guys can see
Do you
there.
want to grab it?
Yeah, let me grab it. These are actually Hotel Chocolat.
Yeah, so basically, I've been wanting to get the Hotel Chocolat, but I just wanted to try them. And this is them. So you've got the mint cream liqueur, and then you've got the salted caramel vodka. Malty notes with dolce de leche. It should be served over ice. And the other one is the chocolate cream liqueur. And although I wanted to try the large bottle of the mint one, I just thought it's better to try the miniature one. So then I get a little bit of a, do you know what I mean? A taste to see if I do like it.
So the big difference between these and the Bailey, so these are whiskey based for those, you guys probably know, but the Bailey's ones are whiskey based. These are vodka based. So they do have vodka in them. So that's the main difference between the two. But like I said, and I have noticed supermarkets now adopting to do their own different types. Now, M&S, I forgot to tell you yesterday, because I popped in there yesterday, are doing their version of what they call Irish cream. So Bailey's is what they would call Irish cream. But they are doing their sort of versions of these liqueurs. So if you are interested, supermarkets are starting to do. We haven't sampled the supermarket, so we don't know.
But these two are do come from Ireland. The origin is Ireland. Right? Yeah, these two. But this one is United Kingdom, country of origin, United Kingdom. So there you go. I don't know if I can get if you want a closer look. There we go. And that's what they look like. So I can't wait to try those at some point.
Are the 2 outer ones creams?
Yes.
Oh yeah, liqueurs. So you've got mint chocolate. Now I'm not a big fan of mint chocolate. I know Kelly is, but the chocolate cream sounds quite nice. And you've got salted caramel vodka liqueur. So for those of you like to kill, and this does actually, in fact, the middle one looks a bit more watery. Well, I say watery, but liquidy. Yeah. Than the 2 outer ones. I'm assuming these will be quite creamy.
So yeah, because they're cream. Yeah.
Milk based. So for those of you not into the milk drinks and booze, there you go. But that's what it's from. So yes.
I'm not a gin person, but a lot of places are doing like flavored gins.
Yes.
So different flavored gins. So if you're into that, do check those out. I know that Hotel Chocolat are doing some flavored gins, as well as other places, of course. But I'm not a gin person, so but I might try one.
Now, actually, fact, you were watching it with me. You may not remember, but there is a place called the Gin Club, which you can actually order from as well.
Oh, yeah.
And they featured on Dragon's Den.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you remember. So the 2 guys, when they first set up, featured on Dragon's Den. Now, they're quite big now as well. But they, obviously, we don't get sponsored deals for any of these places. No. But we're just sort of mentioning it. So they do deliveries of those if you are into that as well. But there we are. That's the, we hadn't seen that before, but that's the Hotel Chocolat drinks.
Yeah.
And the Bailey's range.
Every time I do go into Hotel Chocolat, I can't get the mini mint. And it's the mint one that I really want to try, and I can never ever get the mini mint. So at least I've got the mini mint now.
You didn't get that from Hotel Chocolat?
No, I actually picked that up in Sainsbury's. Yeah.
So you don't need to go to Hotel Chocolat to get those. You can get them from the supermarket. Well, Sainsbury's we know of. We don't know anywhere else. But there you go. So that's our little booze round for today.
And the salty caramel behind me, I also got that from Sainsbury's. So yeah, so if you are in Sainsbury's and you see anything flavoured or whatever, it's worth picking up, especially if they're on a deal.
Yeah,
it's always worth picking something up if it's on a deal.
Now, we don't normally talk about, we're not big drinkers, Kelly and I.
No,
believe it or not, but we're not. So one of the other things you asked me to get, but they didn't have in M&S was Kahlua.
Oh yes. I like to have that in a milkshake. A little bit of a, a little bit of a Kahlua, which is very similar to Bailey's anyway. It's like a chocolate liqueur, and I like to have it in in a chocolate milkshake every now and again. It would even go nice in a frappuccino.
Yeah,
actually. Anyway, on to other things. So we've ordered some stuff online, and as you know, I'm a Harry Potter fan. And so these have been out for quite some time, but this was the first time that I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm actively going to pick one up. So I ordered the Harry Potter illustration book. It's Philosopher's Stone, done by Jim Kay, and I really like it.
It's nice, actually. Now, I've not actually had a look inside. This one came the other day, didn't it? And the one I ordered you came today.
So look, it's all illustrated. Now, I don't know if you remember. I remember reading books when I was younger, and I loved looking at the pictures, and I was highly disappointed when I became an adult that books didn't actually have pictures in them anymore. And I just feel like Harry Potter is one of those books that should be illustrated. If you're going to buy any illustrated book, it should be Harry Potter. And I think Harry Potter is just one of those books that should be illustrated. And I was so happy when they finally did decide to do an illustrated version. And this one came today. So there you go.
The Chamber of Secrets.
The Chamber of Secrets. I've not opened it, so this is the first time you're seeing it at the same time.
So while Kelly's doing that, so also as well, you'll remember I bought Kelly the same books as well, but for Miller Lima. They were the pop-up books for Harry Potter. So you can get both. Well, of course you can get both, but yeah, these are ones. So this is just the but this is the illustrated version from Bloomsbury Press. Yeah,
you can read this one a lot easier, although you would have to read it at home. I mean, you can try and fit it in your bag, but that is a hefty walk to try and fit in your bag.
So as you can imagine now, our bookshop is pretty much full with Kelly's Harry Potter books.
Well, I've got all different versions. So that's just to show you.
I've got to say, I do like the illustrations. They're sort of very classic. They almost look like watercolors.
Yeah, I mean, I love even like the. I always liked the covers of Harry Potter anyway. But I really do like this one. I really do like the sort of the cover. It is completely different because the art is completely different compared to.
I love the skyline.
Yeah,
I think it's a really nice skyline.
So Mark is just talking about that skyline there.
I just love the colours on it as well. It's almost like a I don't know if that's dawn or dusk, but when you get the twilight.
Well, this will be early morning because they go and grab Harry in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Early hours of the morning. So I'm just trying to look for like a brighter picture. Oh, here we go. So you can see that is King's Cross.
And is it the full book in there?
Yes, the full book.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the full book. So so I can't wait to read those because I've been meaning to reread Harry Potter for a while.
Yeah, you've been saying.
And I just haven't had the chance to sort of like calmly sit down. I'm always working on something, or just sometimes I don't have the, like I feel like, oh no, I haven't got motivation to do this or motivation to do that today. But I've been meaning to do it for a while. So I need to just find some quiet time, just so that I can actually sit down and read the book. And then the other book that I showed you last week, which was Box of Delights, and that's is it Quentin? Yeah, Quentin Blake's illustration. I quite like Quentin
Yeah,
Blake's
I do actually. He does.
Type of illustrations. The book is not illustrated, to be fair. It's just the covers. So yeah, that's the.
Those of you will be familiar with Quentin Blake because he illustrates a lot of Roald Dahl's books
Yeah,
as well.
he does.
So
Yeah.
you will notice that as well. I remember reading a lot of Roald Dahl when I was a kid as well.
Yeah.
So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I love Boy. Boy was a really nice one as well.
I really liked the Twits.
The Twits was good.
Yeah,
I
really
the Twits.
enjoyed the Twits.
So, is there a book? Now, I know there's always that debate with Harry Potter. Harry Potter's not seen as a children's book, but the Box of Delights, I would argue, is. And I would also argue that obviously a lot of Roald Dahl's books are. Do you have a favourite book from childhood that you like to read or reread or would like to reread? What would yours be?
Do you know what? I reread Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I did as well, actually. Not recently, but I have reread it.
I read it a few years ago now. But I reread Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, Harry Potter wasn't from my childhood.
No.
Which is a real shame. Because I wish it was.
To read it as a kid, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it must be amazing, you know, to have read it as a kid. So that's always the thing, because I think I would have really, really enjoyed it. But then again, maybe I might have been more into the films. And maybe as an adult, I appreciate the books, because, you know, there are plenty of people who actually haven't read Harry Potter. They've only watched the films.
No, this is true, actually. And funny enough, so we went to the Harry Potter exhibition in central London. Where was it now? It was in Covent Garden.
Oh, Covent Garden, yes.
And we noticed that as well, because the actual exhibition itself was set up really for the movie. So the whole exhibition had all sort of stills from the movies, facts from the movies, and also as well, they would have various little screening points where you could actually watch different things from the film. They would also have costumes from the film as well. So right around, and then you'd have tour guides talking about that as well. So that's what we noticed in there. And there were people that were actually saying, we get over here, and obviously saying to the tour guides as well, no, I've never read the books, I've only ever seen the film.
Yeah, which is quite strange to me. I mean, and one of the tour guides there, he was saying, who did I prefer? Did I prefer Richard Harris, or did I prefer Michael Gambon's version of Dumbledore? Now, for me, I have to say, having read the book, so you can only, I suppose, make not an informed decision, but because my decision was informed because I'd read the books, Richard Harris, to me, portrayed Dumbledore down to a T.
No, I know you said that before, but I do rate Michael Gambon as an actor. I do think he's a fantastic actor.
I think he's a good actor. To be fair, I've not really seen it. The only other thing that I saw him in was a Doctor Who episode or something. I've not really seen him sort of do a lot of stuff.
Hey Ivy, how are you?
Hey Ivy.
You well? You good? Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you. We were just talking about books. So Kelly's just gone and ordered some of the new Harry Potter books, which she's had. Well, I was gonna say which you had illustrated. It sounds like you actually ordered them illustrated. Can you illustrate these for me? No, the illustrated version of it. And we were just talking about what's your favorite book that you read as a child. And is there any book that you from childhood you'd like to reread if you're given the time?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the ones that stick out to mind that I read a lot of Storyteller. Oh, now there's somebody at the door.
Now, talking of which, is well, you'll notice we don't have drinks, so I'm just about to go and get them.
He's just about to go and get them. So, I mean, when I was younger, I read a lot of Storyteller, not to be confused with the episodes of Storyteller. Charlotte's Web. Do you know what? We did a school thing on Charlotte's Web, and I just remember being very sad. And I didn't really like spiders anyway, but I just remember being sad when we sort of had to do I think we did a play version when I was in primary school of Charlotte's Web. We had to read the book as well, because when you do a play, you're supposed to read the book and, you know, so you're informed. So I always felt sad with regards to, and then afterwards, I think there was a cartoon. I know they recently, I say recently, I know they did a cartoon within 10 years, I think, but I think prior to that there was a type of cartoon, I believe, because I vaguely remember watching something when I was little. Oh, was your absolute favorite? Ah, do you know what? Because in my mind, when I'm thinking of Charlotte's Web, I'm thinking of the cartoon, and you know, the cartoon that really sort of got to me was the original Watership Down. I never read the book, but that was one of the cartoons that really got to me. With regards to books, I didn't read a lot when I was younger, to be fair. I read a lot of things like Storyteller, which was a weekly magazine that you would get, and it came with a tape. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but when I was young, so it'll be a book of fairy tales and, you know, stories from around the world. You know, things like Gobelino the Witch's Cat, The Emperor's New Clothes. Just, you know, I really loved fairy tales, and so I did read a lot of fairy tales when I was younger. You know, The Princess and the Pea. You know, The Big Friendly Giant. Well, not the BFG, sorry, but there was a story of an elderly man who had a garden, and his garden was beautiful. But anytime kids tried to get in the garden, he'd tell them to get out and all of that. And then one day he woke up and all the children were in the garden, and he remembered what it was like to have children in the garden and laughing and all of that. That ended very sadly as well. But yeah, I loved reading sort of like short stories, short fairy tales and things like that. The only other book that stuck out in my mind that I thought was really good at the time of reading it was Tom's Midnight Garden. I don't know if anybody read that, Tom's Midnight Garden. And then after that, I was very much into, you know, things like, if you remember, if you're old enough, that is, things like Dramarama. Dramarama. Yeah, so I would have things like that. Oh, Mark's bringing in the drinks as we speak. So here we go.
So we went for bubble tea.
Yes. Bubble tea, bubble tea, bubble tea, bubble tea.
Oh, so Ivy's gone for Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
I've not actually read that, you know. When I was a kid, one of my favourites all time was Never Ending Story, which they did make into a film. I read the whole Never Ending Story, and I loved it. But it's so much better than the book. You've got it's so much better than the film. You've got to read the book. The film misses so much of the best bits out.
Do you know what? I didn't even know it was a book.
Yeah,
I never knew it was
based
a book.
off a book.
Right.
The book is brilliant. I've still got, my parents have still got it at their place. I have to dig it up.
Oh, wow.
It is really worth reading. One of my favourite reads of all time. I couldn't put it down.
I'm going to tell you what I ordered.
What's this one?
Well, this one was to try.
Right.
Okay, so this one is pineapple fruit tea, and I got it with the strawberry bubbles and lychee bubbles, and shake really well. Okay.
So they've written on it, shake really, really well. So I'm assuming, well, you need to mix up all that goodness. There you go.
Okay, and then this one, I didn't get ice with this one. This one is chocolate milk tea with no ice and orange bubbles. So,
and last but not least, I have gone for the vanilla milk tea. Now this is oat milk, so I've gone for. I do like my oat milk, not dairy milk, and this has got sugar rainbow bubbles, whatever they are. Oh, and I've gone for lychee jelly. So if you can see, you've got all these little bits in it. So those square little bits in it are the lychee jelly. So I'm really looking forward to trying this.
Now I'm going to show you the bottom of mine, but you can't really see much, but you can see the bubbles. And I've just. I was going to say, I just shaked it. No, I
shook it.
Shook it. Yeah.
That's really good. Don't be shy. You got to, with these. I've noticed you've really got to stab them up.
Yeah. Otherwise, but yours is a plastic one, and mine is. Is it a plastic one?
No.
It's paper now.
They're not allowed to do plastic straws. Oh, very good.
No, I meant the top. Because it used to be plastic before.
Yeah, they've stopped doing that now. So try mine. I'll try yours. Luckily, we all live together, so.
It's okay.
That's really refreshing, yours. I think I should have gone for non-for-milk.
What one is your one? Oh, vanilla. I think I got a vanilla one before.
But with oat milk. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going back to that, yeah, that was my recommendation if you do get a chance and you want to reread. So, Ivy, are you going to reread Charlotte's Web? Is that something you're planning on doing, or have you done it recently? I would love to go back also as well and redo the oh, that's gonna bang.
I know.
Redo Charlotte and the Chocolate Factory, because that is one I really. Do you want me to do it?
I'll let you do it.
I'll do it off camera.
Yeah, hey, Eve is on. So yeah, see, it's doing it.
Blimey. Right, I'm gonna get some scissors for this.
Yeah, it's not doing it. Hey Eve, how are you?
Evelyn?
Is there a book that you read in childhood that if you had the time you would go back and reread? I liked what was the one that I liked? I liked Tom's Midnight Garden was another one that I read in school, which I thought was like, oh my god, this book is really great. Oh my god, this is just spreading everywhere.
Jam it in.
Oh, got it. Yeah. So that's another book that I would consider reading. Probably would be Tom's Midnight Garden.
I've not read Tom's Midnight Garden. What's that about?
It's about a boy who goes to stay with some relatives, and there's nothing to do there. It's really boring. And one night he discovers a garden.
Hence Tom's Midnight Garden.
Tom's Midnight Garden. Yeah, a secret garden which doesn't exist, but does exist for him.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say from midnight onwards.
Right,
let me try this one.
Yeah, from midnight onwards. You know when you have them with the bubbles as well?
Oh, that's nice.
It flavours it with
It does.
It flavours it with an orange.
Yeah, orange.
Orange, I got it.
Choc orange.
Yeah, choc orange, I know.
Clever. If you do it with mint, you get mint orange.
They don't have mint bubbles.
I've got to say, I really enjoy those.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You've got the rainbow one. The rainbow.
I got
bubbles.
the rainbow, but I also got the lychee pieces in there. So this is our recommendation. If you've never had bubble tea, we do recommend you try it.
I like mine with ice.
I don't actually.
But you don't like yours
No.
with ice. Which is strange because I don't normally like ice in my drinks.
No, you don't.
No. I never have ice with my drinks.
Oh, Evelyn said no books.
No books, really? Like, I know you're into your John Grisham. She's really into her John Grisham. So I know he's your favourite sort of author. But there's no books from when you were a kid that you really enjoyed that you may go back and or would, if you had the time, go back and reread.
What's your favourite John Grisham? Out of interest as well. I'm going to guess The Climb.
Oh, I don't know what. I actually don't know what Evelyn's favourite John Grisham book is, actually.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
It does taste like choc orange.
Yeah, with the orange bubbles. Well, that's what I was going for, because I thought I could either go for strawberry, because I didn't see cherry bubbles on there. So I suppose because I would have done cherry otherwise.
As you can see, we're going for a very unhealthy life today, which we normally do anyway.
I thought, do you know what? I tried to order from Starbucks, and I couldn't. And yesterday, I wanted to order from Starbucks, and couldn't. They rejected the order. So I thought, oh, do you know what? Let's try something that we haven't done in a while, which was Bowl City.
Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know if anybody else orders from Uber Eats or from Just Eat in terms of doing things like drinks. I know it's a bit eccentric, but this is what we do. But we have noticed, even though, I'm not going to name names, our local Starbucks shuts at 6:30, we put in the order at 5:30 and they still won't take it.
Yeah.
That's an hour before they shut.
Sometimes we do it at 5:20, 5:15.
But if you were to walk in there, it's not like they go, oh no, sorry, we're closed, you're going to have to go. So they would serve you. I am surprised. I can't believe they're that busy between the hours of...
On a Tuesday as well.
Well, 5 and 6:30.
there you go. So yeah, are there any books that you've read in your adult life that you would like to go back and reread?
Yeah. One of my favorite books of all time, and I don't know why I loved it, but I loved it, was Clockwork Orange.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Why did you read that?
I had to do it for university.
Mm.
And I read it and I loved it. And it's a very complicated book to read because
Quite a violent book to read.
it's a violent book to read, but it's complicated because the film does not do justice to the book. The book is way better than the film, although I did like the film. But what I loved about it is because they talk in their sort of, I said, a gang language.
Right.
So what I forget the writer who wrote it now, but what the writer did is he created his own gang language for youth of the future. So it's set in the future. But it's very clever how he did it. So he created his own, so like Cruvy meant blood, Gulliver means like, so when he goes, oh mum, I've got a pain in the Gulliver, you, oh god, yeah, right, that's the stomach. So it's things like that, you've just got to learn about it, but it is very violent. But it's his attack on youth of the future, but a lot of the actual fact you could think events that happen today as well.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to think. There was a Stephen King called Jerusalem's Lot. Not Salem's Lot.
Oh, I think
there's one called Salem's Lot, but he did a book of short stories. And this Jerusalem's Lot one was done in letters. So it was letters to and from. It was really, really, really interesting. Now, when I read Salem's Lot, because I actually read Salem's Lot, I didn't know that there was a film that had been made of you know. So I read Jerusalem's Lot first without really knowing about Salem's Lot. So it didn't, so it didn't compute Jerusalem's, but reading the letters though, they were quite scary.
So is that a prequel or a sequel?
It's a prequel, I think. Yes, a prequel, or it happens at the same time, something like that, because he's living in the house and the house is quite scary and all of that type of stuff. So I felt that was quite. Ooh.
Now, Ashraf, moving on slightly. Now I'm going to go on to horror novels. Now, I say horror. I love Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Right.
I read that and I thought that was fantastic. It's the films that have been done never do it justice. It's a really good story as well. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is also quite good. I quite enjoyed that one as well. Pet Sematary is a good one.
Right.
That's a good one. What was it? There was another horror one I read, and I've forgotten it now.
I never really read a lot of horror books. I did like a lot of Stephen King. And I read the Langoliers.
Oh, John Grisham, The Runaway Jury.
Oh.
Was that turned into a film as well?
There was one that was turned into a film, and it was about the little boy who witnessed the murder. I can't remember what one. It was with Susan Sarandon.
So I'm going to make slurpy noises now because I'm getting this.
Look at that. There was that one, but I've read quite a few books in my time, but I read a lot of fantasy books, sci-fi fantasy, because I quite like. I like the ones that are set in a medieval town. You know, some storyteller rocks up, and there's an unassuming boy who's been working the stables and lived a lowly life, and then all of a sudden he's whisked away with the storyteller, and it turns out that the storyteller is some type of a magician or whatever, and the boy's the next future, whatever, so things like that. And I read the Belgariad series and the Malarian series, and the Belgariad and the Malarian series belong together, but it's a series of like 10 books. So I think it might be 5 books in the Belgariad series and then 5 books in the Malarian series.
Okay.
Again, Robin Hobb, I really liked quite a few of her books. She did the Live Ships, but I've not read the Live Ships, but I read The Assassin's Apprentice. again about a young boy who was in an unassuming town.
I've not read any of those yet. I'm just thinking, what was the other one? That horror one's going to really irk me now. It was so good, but this is the thing. It was such a long time ago I read them that I've just completely gone over my head.
Yeah.
So those, I was going to say, in terms of book recommendations, those are the ones. That's the last one I read, and that's one I would recommend. You've got to persist with The Clockwork Orange. It is, but it's well worth. It is well worth reading.
Yeah, I don't think it's a book that I would read. I've got to be honest, but The Magician by Raymond E. Feast, which I've just bought, which I want to reread, and it is something that I read in my very early 20s, and I really liked it. Yeah, my mid 20s, early to mid 20s, I read it. And I'm just having a look on my bookshelf, what books, because I've got so many books.
Oh God! If you could see the bookshelf, Kelly's got a whole row just of cookbooks and a whole row of Harry Potter. Well, actually, more than a whole row of Harry Potter. Two rows of Harry Potter.
Probably, yeah, too.
And like all the just various of the books that we've read.
We've got like acting books and stuff like that from our acting days and things. If I had to recommend a comedy book, a travel comedy book, it would be the one. It's called McCarthy's Bar, by, I think his name is Pete McCarthy, and it's so funny. He's so funny, and basically the book is about he was born here, but he is of Irish parentage, and what he wants to know is if he goes back to Ireland, would he be considered? Would he feel an affinity, and would he be considered Irish, if that makes sense? And so what he does is he goes to all the bars and pubs that are named McCarthy, and he travels around Ireland in a rented car, and he's just so funny, and the book is hilarious, and it's a travel book around Ireland, and I would definitely recommend it. He's so funny. It made me laugh so much. And I read it twice, like in between years in between each other, and I've got it again, and I thought, you know what, I will go back to it again and read it again, because so much time has lapsed. I've forgotten a lot of it, and I think that's the trick with books, isn't it? To leave such a long period of time that you actually forget what's happened. So when you read it, you are surprised.
I'm going to sneeze a bit. Excuse me, I'm just about to speak then. So here's one for you guys. What is the best and the worst film adaptation of a book? So bear in mind, you obviously have to read the two, but what's the best and worst film adaptation of a book?
I don't know, other than Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And The Hobbit.
Now, even it said, yeah, the movie was really good, but they changed it from cigarette to Gundles. I've not actually read The Runaway Jury.
No,
I haven't read it.
I haven't.
So for me, the best adaptation of a film that I did read many years ago, The Godfather, Mario Puzo. So I did read that as well. The film, it just really does justice to the book. It's a really good book, but the film is absolutely fantastic.
But the films are long as well.
Yeah, the films are long.
So then you're able to, you know, incorporate a lot. If a film is long, you're able to incorporate a lot of what is in the book.
Lord of the Rings, so the Peter Jackson version. Now I only started reading Lord of the Rings. I didn't finish it all the way through, but that is a really good adaptation. Obviously, because the books are just so long. There are bits he misses, but I think it's quite faithful to the book. That would be my recommendation. The worst, that's a tricky one. I'm just trying to think what is the worst adaptation for a book. It's always disappointing when you read the book and then the film is actually terrible. I can't think of one actually that springs to mind. There's only been ever one occasion that I can think of where the book, the film is better than the book.
Oh, really?
And the one occasion that is the film Blade Runner.
All right.
Now, not you may not have heard of that. Some people would have heard of it, but the book wasn't called Blade Runner. It was called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick, who's a science fiction writer. But what actual fact he did is, in the book, Deckard, who was played by Harrison Ford in the original one, he's actually married, and he lives in a very similar sort of thing. So it's a dystopian future. There's huge wastelands. I think there's been many wars, probably nuclear wars.
Right.
So people tend to sort of live out of the sticks of the city. But of course, it's all destitute. There's sort of these nuclear waste things going around. So he lives in a house with his wife, who he doesn't get on with, and in the background they keep an electric goat, and that's what they keep. But the book, I didn't like the story; it wasn't that brilliant as well. So what was quite clever was that Ridley Scott, who directed Blade Runner, he changed it. So he made so you don't know about Deckard's future. You just Deckard is single. You don't see his own. You don't really see his house at all or anything like that. So they really make him like the lone gunman type thing in the book, and the film is way better than the book.
I don't think I've read a book where the film is better.
That's
I've got to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't read.
I'm having pumpkin popcorn. Right, sorry.
I haven't read any book where the film was better.
But that is definitely one. Blade Runner. I know you didn't like it, but I thought Blade Runner for me is one of the all-time classic films.
But I think the thing with Blade Runner is something that I should have watched at the time.
Do you know?
I don't think you can watch it later and appreciate it for what.
I don't know though. See, for me, Blade Runner is one of those classic films. It's just it's so classic. The text is so classic, and it does stand the test of time. If I were to watch it now, because it's set in the future, there's nothing there that I think, well, actually, fact, this is now dated.
No, when I watched it, I didn't think that it was dated. I just thought it was nonsense.
Pumpkin spice. This is really nice.
Which is controversial statement, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy Blade Runner, but I know that there are so many loyal fans to Blade Runner and who absolutely love it. But I've got to say, it was not for me.
Now that's actually, Kelly's raised a really good question, and this is what I'm going to throw out to you guys. Is there a film that everybody bigged up or got really good reviews or people loved, you went to see it and thought,
what a pile of pants,
or just what's the fuss about? I don't get it.
Or
has there been a film like that? Go on.
Or there's been some people have trashed a film, and when I went to see it, I thought actually it wasn't that bad. It's not as bad as people made out. There was a film that we went to see at the cinema, and I can't remember which, but I don't read reviews and stuff. And Marcus turned to me and said, like, what did you think? And I said, oh yeah, I didn't think it was too bad. And he goes, yeah, it got absolutely trashed. And then you turned around and said, actually, you didn't think it was too bad. I can't remember what film it was now. But we went to see something. But yeah, I try not to read reviews and stuff because I like to make my own opinion. I don't mind reading them after. I just don't want anything to inhibit me beforehand before I go and see something. I want to enjoy it.
No, so there's several for me. I'm going to do both. So let's start with the ones I didn't think were that good but were highly praised.
Cool.
So when I was a kid, everybody kept raving about how brilliant Ferris Bueller's Day Off was.
Oh,
it's the best film. It's so funny. You've got to go see it. If you don't like it, you're missing a treat. I watched it. And I was going through, and I thought, at any point, this film's going to become brilliant. I can just see it. And then it ended. And I just thought, that was... do you know what? If nobody had said anything, I thought it was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't good. Neha!
Hey, Neha!
Happy New Year. How are you? How was your Christmas? Did you have a nice time?
Now, I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I watched it all the time. And I got to say, I didn't think anything of it.
No.
I didn't. I think it wasn't.
Apple pie.
It wasn't one of them things that I thought to myself, "Oh, do you know what? That's gonna be nostalgic." It wasn't like watching other John. It was John Hughes that did. Like John Hughes's other films were a lot better. Like 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, The Breakfast Club, Uncle Buck. I can't think of the others.
Yeah, they were
Who
good.
did Weird Science? That wasn't
No.
Howard Hughes.
Happy New Year to you too.
Oh,
How was
bless
your
you.
Christmas? Did you have a good break? Christmas was amazing. How was yours? Ours was really good
Really
too.
good. Yeah, I
Thank you
really
so
enjoyed
much.
it.
We had a really good, relaxing time. It was nice just to chill out, open presents. We did do some, and also as well, you joined us for New Year, didn't you? So you did say Happy New Year.
Oh,
But look, I'm glad you're okay. We're just talking about, is there any film that all your friends or other people have said how brilliant it was, and you went to the cinema or you watched it on TV and you thought, it's not that good? What is the response? More modern, we went to see The Hunger Games. Now, The Hunger Games had loads of amazing reviews, and I couldn't get over how, well.
I didn't read the book, so I don't know. I only thought the films were okay.
I don't
think anything of them.
I just sat there watching it. I thought, what is this? This is. So that was for me.
I didn't mind the films. I thought they were okay. But has anybody watched any films that's then made them want to go back and read the book? So you'd never read the book. You just went and watched the films. Then you thought, you know what? I want to go read the book. There was one film that did that, and I went to see it with Evelyn. And it was Twilight. And I watched Twilight. And Evelyn said, "Oh yeah, it's nice they made the book into a film." And I was stopped her in the middle of the cinema, and I was like, "What? There's a book?" And I've got to say that film 1 was closest match to the book, and it is the film that made me want to read the books. And I swear, between Christmas and New Year for that week, I could not put the books down. I read it. I was reading till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you said
4 o'clock in the morning. I was reading these books. I could not put the books down. It was the first time that I had been excited about a book since Harry Potter. And Harry Potter I had read sort of like in my sort of early mid-20s, and then I read Twilight a lot later. And when I read Harry Potter, I wasn't a very avid reader anyway. So I had been wanting to read books, but I just couldn't find the books that would spark an interest in me. So I had started reading Stephen King books and a couple of those. Anyway, I found Harry Potter. Well, I was walking along the street reading the books. I was crossing the road reading the books. I was stuck in my bedroom reading the books. And I lived with my gran at the time. And my gran came and she knocked on the door. "Kel, are you all right?" I was like, "Yes, Grandma." Because normally I'd go and sit in the living room with her and watch the TV, or I'd have the TV on in my room, and I didn't have no TV on, and I didn't go into the living room to watch TV with her. I was just completely obsessed with Harry Potter and reading the books.
Poor Nihar. So Nihar said, "I learned about the Hunger Games in year 8. We read the book and watched the movie, but we couldn't finish the movie because of Corona." Oh, I didn't get to. I'm not gonna lie. You're not missing much now. Look, that's just for me. I was never a big fan. Oh, Ray Ray.
Hey, Ray Ray.
You can't be much older than the 20s now, Kelly. Hi, bud. Hey.
I wish.
Ray Ray, how are you?
I wish.
I'll tell you.
Thank you. Very kind.
I'll tell you a funny story, Ray Ray. And this is so true, and this made me laugh. So Kelly and I, we went into, this is on my Kelly's 40th birthday. So we went, Kelly wanted some jewelry. So we went into a jewelry shop. And
No, it's for your watch.
Oh, my watch, wasn't it? Yeah.
The cheek of it.
No.
I wasn't even 40 at the time.
No.
It was your 40th.
No, it's my 41st. Because no, it's your 40th you were discussing about. Anyway. That was right. It's for a watch for me. We went into a jewelry shop. We were just chatting about it. I said, "Yeah, it's for my birthday." And Kelly said, "Yeah, it was my 40th not so long ago." And the woman went, "Oh my gosh, you don't look 40." So I said, "Yeah, actually, it was funny enough. It was my 40th just before." She went, "Oh, happy birthday." I told my boss that. She found that hilarious. She was just laughing. Looked me up and down. Went, "Oh, happy birthday." I said, "Yeah, you look 40. But Kelly, gosh, you don't look 40.
I don't act it really, to be quite honest.
I'm going to have a little sip of this. Sorry, because this is dry.
But There's only been one film that's made me want to go back and read a book.
Yeah.
Which is what do you call it? Twilight. And I absolutely love Twilight. And absolutely love Twilight. And then there hasn't been another film that's made me want. Has there been a film that you want that made you go back and read a book?
So I didn't answer the other bit. So yes, there is. I'll come on to that. But so of the films that everyone raves about, and I watched and didn't think it was much. Ray said, "I'm 48 this year. So, I can see that 50." I bet you don't look anything.
No,
I bet you don't.
Yeah.
I bet you don't. So Ray, just before you came on, we were just talking about, is there a film that everybody raved about, everybody said was amazing? You went to watch it and thought, what? What was that? Oh, even said, once I watched the movie, forgot the book.
Yeah, exactly. Forget the book. And you're right, Eve. Normally, that is what would happen. I'd go and watch a movie. There's only one movie that I've ever watched that made me go and read the book, which was Twilight. I've never seen a movie that's prompted me to want to read a book, but Twilight was one of those movies. And I think that once you read a book and they make a film of it, you get excited because you want to see it. It's very rare that it happens within the reverse.
Now, the opposite way, of course, is there ever a film that everybody panned and you liked? I'm going to say it. I don't care. Don't judge me. Don't at me. I really enjoyed Blair Witch Project. I know that was absolutely slated, but I really enjoyed that one.
I didn't even bother to watch that one.
Nahar said, I don't like books. They make me read too much at school. Do you know what? Actually, I did an English degree, and you end up having to read 4 books a week, and you get so sick of reading because you have to read non-stop. If you like reading, which I do, you like it, but then if you have to speed read because you think to yourself, oh God, I've got to read like 200-300 pages a day to keep up. So if you have to read, even if you don't, I'm one of those readers that like to read when I'm in the mood. If I'm not in the mood, but when you have to force yourself to read, whether you're in the mood or not, it does turn you off books a little bit.
Thing is, when I was your age, Nahar, I used to love reading magazines. Magazines was my thing. And we used to have something like it was called Smash Hits, and it used to have song lyrics in them. And I religiously would buy Smash Hits for the song lyrics, religiously. The other ones that I used to just get to read were Just 17. And sometimes when I'd go and visit my gran, there'd only be one shop open on a Sunday, and I'd always go down to the shop and think, oh, what am I going to buy? And so I'd buy a couple of magazines, comic magazines type. But more along sort of like, what's the one with Nasher and
Beano.
Yeah, so I'd buy a Beano magazine or something like that, Beano comic, because that's all they would have. He would never, and it never occurred to me to buy comics or books or magazines before I went to my grand's place. Never occurred to me to do that. But anyway, every Sunday religiously I'd go to that corner shop, I was more one for magazines when I was your age. And a girl across the road, which I mentioned this in another live, she gave me a bag of annuals, like like Jackie and all of this type of stuff, Blue Jeans or whatever it was, because I never really read those magazines. But I tell you, I read those annuals from cover to cover every night. Before I go to sleep, I'd read these annuals and I'd be like, oh my God, these are so good. But I mean, people normally give annuals at Christmas, so I just imagine she had saved all these annuals up for Christmas.
Oh, so now sorry, I'm just eating my popcorn. Now said, oh my God, I will not be able to survive that. I obviously have to read all those books. I know what you mean. I couldn't do it now. I could not do it now. Ray said, I started You on Netflix. My friends had gone really crazy and said it was really good. But then I realized it was the first series I watched, and the same again, I ended up asleep. Ray said, I remember taking a note to the shop to buy cigarettes for my mum.
And did they sell them to you? I never did that, but because you know what? Because my mum doesn't smoke now, or she says she doesn't smoke, but she and my stepdad used to always go to Europe to get them.
Yeah, because
So
yeah, that's true. So for those of you that are very young, back in the day, you could get a massive, what they call a stick of cigarettes, much cheaper on the especially in France.
yeah, and that's where we used to go in France.
Yeah, exactly. Because so then you could hear. So you could buy a massive stick of them for about £10, which is a stick of about probably about 20 pounds.
I think
26 bucks.
I think in the beginning though there wasn't a what you call it, a stipulation on how many you could buy
No.
in the beginning, but then it got tighter and tighter, and then there was restrictions on how
Oh my
much you could
God,
buy.
Ray said, yeah, they always gave them to me. I was around 10. When I was in my early 20s, funny enough, in our local news agent, there'll always be kids hanging outside, and they go, "If I give you some money, can you get me some cigarettes?" No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
No,
I
I'm not
never
doing that.
experienced that, but I did see kids doing that.
Oh yeah.
They would be walking outside the news agents trying to cost people to, oh, if I give you this, can you get us a blah 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 and all of this.
Yeah, I've got no.
I'd see it, but I was young myself, but I never, I never saw any adults say yeah, but I used to see those kids who wanted to smoke or who wanted to have a drink or something, and then they would wait.
My friend, who I'm not going to name names, used to do it for them as well.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, what? Go and get them this year. This is many years ago. Even said, yeah, she remembers those magazines.
Yeah, and those were the ones that I used to get and read, and my favorite was Just 17, and Smash Hits. They were my two favorite magazines.
Oh, now we have a very interesting question from Nehar.
Right.
And this question, actual fact, you guys will all know. The question is, do you guys know what the Rachel haircut was in the 1990s?
Yes, I do. And it was called the Rachel.
It was called the Rachel. Now,
it was called the Rachel haircut.
Yeah, now tell the story you were telling me about the Rachel haircut, because people think she wore it for the entire series, but
no. So when she had the Rachel haircut, it was part from season 1 into season 2, and everybody raved about the haircut. Everybody wanted to get that haircut and all of that. And she that's me. I'm Rachel. Really? Did you get the Rachel?
Did you get the Rachel?
Did you get the Rachel? And everybody raved about the haircut. Everyone went out and got the haircut and everything else. And Jennifer Aniston, on purpose, grew out her hairstyle because she didn't want to be known for a hairstyle. No. She wanted to be known for her acting. So she grew out her hairstyle and never went back to it. But I always wanted to get that haircut. But the hairdresser always said to me, you've got to have your hair really short, and you'd have to blow dry it, which is the case. Yeah.
Now, I know you like Friends, so do you know the hairstyle? I bet you know the hairstyle yourself. And have you ever asked for that hairstyle? Funny enough, now we're old, so we know. When we were in our 20s, that was when it was kind of in our about late teens, early 20s. That is when the Rachel hairstyle came into fruition. And hairdressers, I remember when I went to a unisex salon, and the woman would say to me, women will just come into the salon and say, "Can I have the Rachel? Can I have the Rachel?" Yeah. And there would be lots of people wanting what they called the Rachel. It kind of looked like she'd shaved it down the bits, but
no. It was just all choppy at the back.
Yeah.
And it sort of came into sort of like a point, but the upper part was a little bit bigger, but also came down. So.
And I remember the cut.
Yeah, it was the cut. Yeah, it was very, very popular.
Naham says she now has them. Right, Naham, this is something my brother bought for the United States for Kelly. I'll let Kelly show you.
So he got me this. So I thought, oh my God, do you know what? I've been thinking about crocheting for a while. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to make this. He also got me something else Friends related, but I don't know where it is. No, but yeah, this is the one. It was the puzzle.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to trying that. And I've never crocheted in my life, but I knitted when I was a lot younger because that's what you learn. I used to go to the play center and they teach you how to knit and how to crochet. Imagine at a play center. Anyway, but crochet was one of the ones I didn't get to learn. But I also got this, which I can't wait to do. I bought a couple of puzzles, didn't I?
Oh my God, that's so cute! Yeah, so yeah, that's come all the way from the United States. So has that.
Yeah.
There we are, the puzzle.
So they are so when I was younger, I went to a play center. A play centre was because my mum worked, and it was during school holidays. You had these places called play centres, and then you go to the play centre, and they would take you out for the day, or they do lots of different things. You know, go round, and you'd go on all these different trips and stuff like that.
Oh, and Neha's got a puzzle as well.
Oh, what puzzle did you get?
Yeah, what one have you got? A friend?
And so in this play centre, if you weren't going out and you were staying there for the day, they would teach you how to do different things. And I already knitting was quite popular when I was younger anyway, like everyone was always knitting something. But crochet, because they used to do it on a little castle, how they would crochet, and they would have this like hook needle. And I would never ever know. I used to watch it, be fascinated, but I was never taught how to crochet. So
there you go. Oh, Neha, did we show you the Friends cookies? So we bought a load of Friends cookies. Did we ever show you that? We probably have, but I just double check if we had or haven't. Because if not, I'll show you those again. She said yes, only a small one, and it's of Chandler and Joey.
Oh wow, okay.
I made a crochet mini owl ages ago, and I still have it. It took me ages. Yeah, it does take a long time to do crochet.
Crochet, yeah. From what I remember.
Evelyn said, I used to buy alcohol for my friend because I looked older at 14, but didn't start drinking one until I was 18. You know, when I used to, where I used to live, again, I'm not going to doss in any pubs, but they would serve you at any age. You know,
but that's in the West Country, right?
Yeah, so what? I was going to say, I wasn't going to doss in the pub, but
you haven't named the pub.
No, I haven't named the pubs, but yeah, Country. I mean, my friends used to walk in there at 14, and you go, part lager.
If you've ever watched Hot Fuzz,
there you go.
It's similar to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've never really been a drinker anyway. I've never liked the taste of alcohol. And if I don't like the taste of something, I'm thinking, why am I having it? Like food wise, drink wise, like why would I have it if I don't like it? So I will only ever drink alcohol if it's subtle. If it's like, I don't mind if it's strong as long as I can't taste it. So if it's in a drink and it's subtle and I can just enjoy the drink for what the drink is, I don't mind. But we don't really drink anyway.
No,
so we have a lot of drink in the house for other people when they come. But
do you know what? As I was saying earlier on as well, that what tends to happen is I've got to be careful because, like I said, when what you see is what other people see. This, it looks like we drink a lot. We don't. We don't at all. Those all those bottles of Baileys. Yay! Ray said my first drink was in a pub and I was 14. It's amazing actually. It must be a generational thing because I don't think you would get that so much now.
Or it could be but no, mind you, there was a pub local to where I used to live when I was younger. I mean,
yeah. Ray said, yeah, I was gonna say with a shelf full of Baileys.
I left when I was young as well, the estate, but I feel sure that the local pub used to let in people who were young. Yeah, who were young. And that was in Battersea. And there was a couple of pubs around there, but you were from the estate, so people knew you, they grew up with you, your friends start working in a pub, of course they're going to serve you. So yeah, so from what I understand, but I had left by that point, so I wasn't exposed to that. When I came here, when we moved to this area, yeah, we just sort of went to school and I didn't hang out with my friends on the estate really. But yeah, that's probably, I probably would have gone to the local pub with them.
And you think in Elizabethan England as well, people preferred drinking booze because it was cleaner than the water.
Oh, well, what an excuse then.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
there you go.
Because you boil it and ferment it, so of course it was a lot more cleaner than the water. So even children would drink it. But, there you have it. But yeah, with a shelf full of no, we don't drink. Honestly.
Do you know what? I saw I got some flavored a friend of mine bought pina colada Baileys, and I thought, oh my god, I must try that. So I went to order it, and while I was there ordering it, I saw the apple crumble, and I saw the red velvet, and I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to order those as well. So then I ordered those three, and then I wanted and I already had a strawberry one, which you got.
I bought that. Morrison's were doing a special in the summer for strawberries and cream Baileys.
And then so Mark got that. And then there was one that I really, really wanted, which they don't do here, which is chocolate cherry. So I was really upset that they don't do the chocolate cherry. Anyway, so I got those. And then I saw that they do I love Hot Fuzz. And then I saw that they did what was the other one? Birthday cake. So I thought, oh my God, I better get the birthday cake one. So I got the birthday cake one. And while I was in Sainsbury's, saw the salted caramel. And I bought the salted caramel for your mum as a gift.
Yeah.
Because Mark's mum loves the salted caramel.
My mum loves salted caramel.
And normally you can only get it at the airport because we've not seen it locally. So I knew she liked stuff. I thought, oh, do you know what? Let me get. And then I thought, oh, do you know what? Let me get myself a bottle. And so then I got a bottle. And so then I ended up with this. And then I thought, oh, do you know what? Let me get the orange truffle and the chocolate as well, because now I've started the theme. So then I ordered the others. So yeah, so that's how that story. So that's how that came about. So
there we are. Oh, and even you'll probably Kelly will do a ladies' night again with those as well, so you can have a little sample at that at some point.
I think she's tried the majority of them.
Oh, have you?
I think she tried the majority of them already. Yeah.
There you have it. So that was the story of the Baileys as well. I had no idea though they did that many. I've got to say, be funny for a taste test, says Ray.
Well, definitely, that's what I'm going to do. I should do a video on it.
Well, do you know what? Actually, what funny you should say that, Ray. But as you probably may have known from our previous video, all those drinks are for me when I visit Seville.
Yeah.
So, as you may
have
seen, I've done several recipes from the Back to the Future cookbook, the Star Wars cookbook, and the Friends cookbook. Now, interestingly enough, at the back of all these cookbooks are cocktail recipes. So I did want to do some of those as a video, so our taste testers could potentially be in our comment.
Yeah, evening, obviously.
Yeah.
But I do want to make some cocktails that I've seen with the Baileys.
Yeah.
And plus, I've got my little cookbook, my little Baileys cookbook at the back there, so I might use them in some recipes as well. So I'll be looking forward to trying them. I did get the Gordon Ramsay's book, and he does a really nice butternut squash soup. So
is that why you got me to get butternut squash?
Yeah, so I got Mark yesterday to get butternut squash because I want to try making this butternut squash soup that I've seen with red lentils, and because we had lentils in the cupboard, I thought, oh well, I don't need to ask Mark to get any lentils because we've got some in the cupboard, and it's got like cumin seeds in it and all of this, and so we had all the and ginger. I made you get ginger.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't get any ginger.
Oh, did you not?
No, they didn't have any.
Oh,
I'm afraid only the ginger powder.
I've only got some. I've got some frozen ginger.
That'll do.
So I could try the frozen ginger, but it's never as good as obviously as the fresh, real ginger. But there we go. But yeah, so I definitely want to try that soup out. So yeah, so I think it'll be a nice, hearty, warm soup to have some warm, crusty, garlic bread cheese roll or something, where you just sort of put garlic butter on it, toast it up, and put some mozzarella cheese on that, melt that. That'd be quite nice.
You see where we're going with that one as well. And do you know what? When I was at work, every lunchtime religiously I'd get soup because it's just easy to do. Buy it, put it in the microwave, eat it, done. And I've not touched it since I've been working from home. So I tend not to go and get soup. So
but I think a homemade soup is going to be a lot different to a shop bought soup.
Do you guys make a lot of soup? Does anyone into soup or not really? It's one of those things I would never think to cook while at home.
Do you know what? It's not one of those things unless I saw a soup that was so tasty on a restaurant menu. It's not something that I would go for. A lot of people like French onion soup, but I don't really like the cheese. I don't like whatever cheese it is.
Oh, I love that.
And it's they use quite a lot of oil in it.
Yeah, they do.
And the oil doesn't agree with me, like too much of it. So I tend not to I steer away from that type of soup. But there was a wedding that we went to, and they had soup as their starter, and the soup was really nice. But again, it's just one of those things. I don't have a lot of soup. I don't make it or have it or.
That's a question for everybody here. Is there a food that you like, but you just never ever order in a restaurant? So if you're out, you think, do you know what, I like that, but I would just never order it. We were thinking about this the other day. So for me, like I said, soup, I never order soup, even if it's a starter on the menu. I'll eat it, I like it, but I would never ever order it. Beans on toast, you never see on a menu, but I would never order beans on toast.
No.
But also, the other one I was telling you about is trifle. Now, I like trifle, but if it were on a menu in a restaurant, I would never order it. I don't know why, I just never would. I would go for something else.
Yeah, and I don't like trifle.
You don't like trifle, but is there anything that you guys like that you just think, actually, I would never order that if it's on the menu? Even said, yeah, I've tried them, but I can't. I can always try again.
She was talking about the Baileys.
Oh, well, yeah, I thought about soup then. You could always give them a go. I'm fascinated with the birthday cake one. I think that one will taste quite nice.
I think it will taste of vanilla.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. They're going to go for the vanilla frosting bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to taste of vanilla. There isn't. There are dishes maybe like if I see a really nice what do you call it? What's the rice dish that I like? The mushy one, the gluten one.
Oh, risotto.
Risotto, right. I really do enjoy. I've never tried making it, and one day I would like to try making risotto, but I really enjoy risotto. If I see it on a menu, if it's a starter, I will have it. But if I see it as a main, I won't really go for a risotto. I really have to be in the mood to have that as my main, because essentially I'll always see something else that's meaty that I probably would eat. But a mushroom risotto, oh. And one day we went to a restaurant and they did a mushroom risotto as a starter.
I remember.
It was they gave it to me like as if it was a main. It was so much. And by the end of it, I thought, I wonder if I'm going to eat my main.
You loved it though.
I love it. I really do enjoy risotto. We went to Kensington Rooftop Gardens, right? It used to be Richard Branson's Rooftop Gardens in Kensington. I think they've changed it now. I don't think it's not Richard Branson who owns it anymore. And we went to a party that was there, and they were giving out, the little sort of like canapes, but like so they have like these mini dishes, and you can have as many of these mini dishes as you want. I really love those types of parties. And we went, and they were doing a pumpkin risotto. It was so good. It was delicious. Not as delicious as the mushroom one, because that one was just on point. But there's been a few places that I've been to, and we went to many years ago. I had a friend, and she took me to a fashion. It was a fashion thing. It was Armani's fashion thing or something. And they did these canapes, and they were like these sugar spoons and they were so delicious. I tell you, I've been to some place and I've eaten some real good canapes. I went to there was a party at the Science Museum, and they did these mini Guinness and pies. Like, if you like mini Guinness and pies, I'm not really a Guinness person, but these mini pies were so good. And then they did little mini curry bowl. But do you know what it is? Because I don't have a big appetite, it allows you to then try all of these dishes without being stuffed or your eyes being bigger than your stomach. And that is what I love about the canapes and the mini sort of like, I really love those that type of catering where you can go to a party, and you obviously there's all you can drink and all of that type of stuff. But like I said, I'm not really a drinker, and normally the drinks that they do are so strong I couldn't even. This party where they were doing the mini Guinnesses, and that they were doing like these they did these like little prawn dishes and all of that, and like these like sort of little curry dishes, really nice. And they did, the mini fish and chips. I love those when you get the like mini fish and chips in the fake paper. And
yeah,
stuff.
they always do in the fake paper. Yeah.
And Rach, my friend, we went. She tried this drink. Now this drink was vodka and God knows what in it. And I tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. But Rachel, it was the best drink ever. She could not tell that there was alcohol in this drink. She was drinking and drinking and drinking. But I like drinks like that where you can't tell that there's alcohol in the drink. And for her, that's what everybody's taste buds are different. And for her, these drinks tasted like they didn't have any alcohol in them. I tried it. It was just like so bitter and so alcoholic. I couldn't drink. So I just ended up having soft drinks, which is fine for me because I don't mind not drinking. It's not a big deal for me, to be honest. But yeah, I also went to another party, and I really like vodka and Red Bull. Now, I don't like it when, you know, it's so strong or so weak. I like it in the middle, and it just tastes of you're drinking that cherry almond drink. It's really delicious. It's Disaronno. It's Disaronno and Red Bull, or vodka and Red Bull, but I prefer Disaronno and Red Bull. Disaronno and Red Bull, it's like that cherry almondy taste. It's really delicious, and I could just sit down and drink. That's so nice. And we this happened to me twice at two different parties, and I was drinking quite a few of them, but I did not feel drunk at all. And I saw them pouring it, so unless they actually watered down the actual bottle that they were pouring from, I did not feel drunk one bit, and I must have drunk about 5 or 6. But there was another time when I went out with Evelyn, and it was my cousin's leaving do or something, and we went to a pub, and I was drinking Red Bull and vodka, and I drank so much. You know, I was so drunk. I'll never forget that. I was so drunk. It's not the drunkest that I've been, but I was really drunk. Oh my God.
I wasn't there, and I didn't encourage it.
No.
No, I was going to say so, but so for anybody who's interested, going back to Kelly's previous point, the actual amazing risotto that Kelly had was at a place called Aqua. And it's Aqua in Blackheath we went to that time. So if anybody is interested, I can't guarantee it'll be the same because this was some years ago. Yeah. But that's where it was as well. Even said Bailey's birthday cake tastes like birthday cake. Hence the name. So it does taste like.
We'll see.
We'll see. I am thinking that though. I'm thinking it's got a vanilla-y taste.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to taste vanilla.
Because they do want to make it taste like birthday cake buttercream.
But there's also another one that I've seen. There's a couple of Baileys that I've seen which I'm debating whether I'm going to get at this point. But those are the ones. I didn't even know
they did those, let alone there's more of them.
There's more flavors, so I'm debating whether I'm going to get those other flavors.
It wouldn't surprise me. I think if they added a mint one, but I don't know if that would go.
They did have a mint one, but that was many years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was many years ago. You can't get it now. But yeah, there's a couple that I regret that I can't get now, which you could get before. So that's a bit of a shame.
Well, what I think would work, they've got pineapple. I do think they should do peach because it'll be peach and cream. And I think melon and cream.
Peaches and cream?
Melon and cream might work. Melon and cream would be quite nice. That would be my recommendation.
Melon, yeah.
Well, they've done strawberries and cream, which obviously would go together as well, but it's a cream. And they've done apple pie. What else goes with cream? Christmas pudding you could do, but I don't know how popular that would be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else you could do. What else goes with cream, guys? Anything else that we could do with cream? I'm just trying to think of things. So they got the choc orange with cream. We'll get a straight out vanilla one.
Yeah.
They could do.
Yeah.
You know, there we are.
But yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that I'm in my mind. I'm thinking of all the cocktails that I can do with the Baileys.
Now, talking of non-alcoholic tasting cocktails, those do, as you were saying as well, they are very suspiciously taste. Don't have any alcohol taste at all. So it always gets a bit wary if you drink. You can easily drink a lot of
what Baileys.
Yeah.
You see, this is the thing, right? My taste buds are so sensitive. I can pretty much taste the alcohol in anything.
Happy New Year, Claire.
Hey, Claire, how are you?
How are you doing? You're all right? Happy New Year.
I hope you're well. I hope family's well. Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
It's my cousin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, so I think that for me, my taste buds are so, sensitive. I can taste the alcohol in pretty much anything. And what's nice is when I can't taste the alcohol. So like Disaronno and Red Bull. It's one of I really like that drink. The other one, Malibu and pineapple, I can't taste the alcohol in that. And vodka and Red Bull. Again, I can't taste the alcohol in that because Red Bull's so strong.
Yeah, Red Bull is strong.
You can't taste any alcohol in it. So when you put alcohol in it, especially Disaronno, it really just tastes like a cherry almond drink. It's really delicious.
I remember when the Red Bull was coming out in the 90s, and I remember opening a can of it, smelling it. I thought, blimey, the chemicals in that, you can really, it's almost like a really strong bubblegum flavour.
I thought it was, when Red Bull first came out, I thought it was alcoholic.
No, it's so strong. Yeah.
I thought it was alcoholic, and I didn't realise that it was a non-alcoholic drink.
To me, it just tastes, it smells like really strong bubblegum. Really, really strong bubblegum.
It smells strong, but yeah, I don't like it so much on its own. I'm not a lover of Red Bull on its own, but I really do like it as a mixer.
Yeah.
Who has a favourite drink or their go-to? What's your go-to drink? Like, what drink is it that you like? With me, obviously there's some of you out there that are too young. So what's your go-to soft drink? But my go-to alcoholic drink is Disaronno and Red Bull.
Now, do you prefer the classics? Are you going for the classics ones like G&T or those type of things? Or do you like to go for something a little more adventurous, like you were saying as well? Something, or is there a drink that you go for that's completely new that you've invented and that's something that you really, really like?
I don't like G&T. Again, it's just, I think gin is one of those acquired, it's like wine is an acquired taste.
Gin to me tastes like very strong cucumber. That's that's the only way I can describe it, like a very, very concentrated strong cucumber.
It doesn't taste of cucumber to me, but I don't like cucumber.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that might be
I don't
right.
like.
To me, that's how it tastes like. But yeah, that's one of the classics. Do you go for one of the classics like that, or do you go for something that's a little bit of something unique to yourself?
I think.
I know Evenings is Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, or Tom Collins.
Oh right, okay.
Tom Collins or Long Island. Long Island iced tea would be her go-to drink.
Right.
Or Tom Collins.
I always thought Tom Collins was the name of a
No. Yeah, so Evelyn's one will be Long Island. That would be first choice. Long Island iced tea, and then Tom Collins. But for me would always be Disaronno Red Bull. Second to that would be Malibu and pineapple, I think.
So I'm not really a drinker, so mine would be probably a like I said.
What was yours back in the day?
Back in the day, I really got into Moscow Mule. I don't know why.
I don't even know what that is.
I went through this phase. It was actually by Smirnoff, a Moscow Mule, and I think it's ginger beer and vodka.
Oh.
But that was the one I used to be really into. I don't know why. I just got into it and really liked it. Then I got into Bacardi and Coke. That's a
big drink for a lot of people.
That was in the 90s. In the 90s, I would go for Bacardi and Coke. That was my big thing, and then I just sort of gave up drinking after that. But that was my big go-to in the 90s.
No, that's
Bacardi and Coke. I don't know why. I just liked it, but I think my friends got into it, and I thought, I'll have one too. I'll have Bacardi and Coke. So I'd end up having that. But I was never really a big beer fan. I was not enamored by it. I would drink it, obviously, because everybody else did. But, and big pints of lager, but it's not really my thing.
Your drink. I've always been spirits rather than, I never used to drink all these Smirnoffs and was it Smooch? What?
Oh yeah,
Hooch.
And what else was there? Hooch was the big one, and
there's WKD.
Yeah, WKD. Then there was something called the Dogs. There was, what else was there?
I was never really of those Alco Pops.
Alco Pops, that was
Alco Pops is what they were called, and I was never really a fan of those.
Claire said, depends when I'm going out for a night out. Vodka, Red Bull dinner. There you go. Vodka and Red Bull.
I really like, but you know what? A lot of places don't do Red Bull.
No.
No, I was quite surprised. Where did we go? We went to wine or Prosecco. Evelyn likes champagne. If you're going to go along those lines, Evelyn likes champagne. She used to really, her favourite was Shiraz, but she can't drink Shiraz no more. I think I've never really been a wine drinker, and I don't like Prosecco or champagne. There was a champagne once. Somebody bought a champagne once, and I drank it, and I was so shocked that I liked it. I took a sip of it, and I thought, oh my God, this is really nice. And I want to say it was a Andre Roger or something like that. And I remember taking a picture of it, but forgot it from then. But yeah, that was years and years ago. But that's the only champagne that I've tasted, and I've tasted quite a few champagnes. quite a few.
Is it Blacky Ag?
Oh yes.
Oh, hello, welcome to us. You said, yeah, alcohol pops are very high in sugar.
Yeah.
And that is so true. Actual fact, because there's lots of alcohol in it anyway, which turns to sugar. But then, of course, then in order to make them nice and sweet and hide the alcohol taste, you put in even more sugary flavors.
Yeah, you do. Thank you and welcome for joining us.
Thank you for
I know
joining
you're a
us.
new subscriber, so thank you for joining us. There was a question you asked me the other day, which I answered, and I can't for the life of me remember which question it was, but I do remember answering it. Yeah, I was never really, I never really was and never have been a real big drinker anyway.
No.
And I think, but we do have it in the house, especially for Evelyn, because
As you
when
can
Evelyn's
tell.
coming round, you got to make sure you're stocked.
I was going to say, for two not big drinkers, look at that. So we do always.
You haven't seen our cupboard yet. Our cupboard's
full of booze.
Claire, if you like wine and prosecco, you'd be right at home here, because that's all that's in my cupboard.
I've got to say, for people just assume I do drink. So when I get presents from people, I do get a lot of bottles of booze. So which we always have here. Champagne for sure, says Claire.
Yeah, I've got a lot of champagne here as well for you, Claire. So whenever we get together, once this craziness has ended, there'll be lots of champagne for you.
And when we used to do our barbecue, so we always used to have a barbecue every summer. Religiously, we always do one. We haven't for the last couple of years, obviously, because of the pandemic. But prior to that, I'm coming, says Claire.
Good.
Prior to that, we would always use the drinks that we got for the barbecues. And they would go like Pimm's. We would get for about 2 or 3 liters.
Pimm's, yeah. Pimm's is on tap here.
Georgina, sherry for me, she said.
Really?
Oh, you're a sherry drinker.
Do you know what? Now I've told you, I've seen Georgina. I've met Georgina.
Yeah.
I would never ever picture you as a sherry drinker.
You've been stereotyped.
Do you know what? I would never. Yeah, because I've only ever met one sherry drinker anyway. So sherry's not really something that comes to mind. But I would never picture you as a sherry drinker. Surprising, isn't it? But I don't think we have sherry, actually.
No.
I think it's one of those drinks we don't have. We do have cognac, and we do have brandy. We've got whiskey, we've got gin, we've got vodka.
So all those little classic
Prosecco,
well.
Champagne,
your
Disaronno, Malibu.
And like I said, a lot of these we get gifted. So
yeah, a lot of them we get gifted, and then a lot of them we buy. Like if I'm at the airport, I'll buy champagne.
Like I said, when we did our last barbecue, I think we got through 4 bottles of Pimm's? I think it's 4 bottles of Pimm's.
I don't know, because some people brought Pimm's as well.
Yeah, so I think it was 4. So again, that's dispersed between about 30 different people.
Yeah.
Of course, they were having.
Well, no, because not every person was drinking Pimm's.
No, and also people had beer as well.
I think it was only Lorenzo, Evelyn, and a couple of others that was drinking the Pimm's. I don't think there was that many people drinking Pimm's. So we went through quite a bit. Because Alicia was drinking Pimm's as well. It was only about 5 to 7 people that went through those bottles. It wasn't that many. It wasn't that many.
And that was funny as well. So we basically put it in we've got a massive jar with a tap at the end. So we pull that one up as well, and then you top it up with lemonade, and then you'd add
I add all the fruits to it and stuff like that. I try not to water it down with ice and put frozen fruit in.
So when Georgina's out, she'll mostly go for a mocktail.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we do actually, to be fair.
A mocktail and pina colada, unless they're doing if they do pina colada with Bacardi, I don't tend to have it. But if they do it with Malibu, then I'll have it, because it's a proper coconut rum. Whereas Bacardi is not a coconut rum, is it? It's not coconut rum, Bacardi.
No,
it's just a normal rum. So I don't, but I like it with a coconut rum. So if they do have a coconut rum, I will try it. But more often than not, I don't tend to like them. I do like Malibu though. I'm very my tastes are very particular. So like I will always try drinks and stuff like that. But I tend, if they're strong, I just tend not to drink them. Yeah, but if I can't taste them all day, I'll have them all day. But I do love a good mocktail.
Which ones you go for in particular? Now, the reason why I ask is there's a restaurant near us we go to, and they do an amazing mojito, but it's a virgin mojito, but it's really, really good. So I tried to replicate it, and the recipe was saying what you would do is you get the 2 limes, and you add soda to that, and then they said I mix it up with a lot of actually use icing sugar because that's just so fine and it melts up in with the soda. Add that in with the lime as well. Really bash that in with mint. It's delicious. Virgin mojito as well. Look at that.
See, I go for pina colada. So Mark will always go for the mojito, and I will always go for the pina colada. But you'll also put mint in it.
Yeah, so that's what you're supposed to have in there.
Yeah.
Mint and lime.
Yeah.
That was soda, and then like I said, so that's a little secret I always use. You really mush in your limes, and then I add a lot of icing sugar to that, and then add your soda
and it was only when I was finding that my icing sugar was finishing, without anyone telling me, I was getting upset, thinking, well, when I need to bake a cake, and what? Well, when I used to need the sugar.
So Claire said the best mocktail I had was a lychee one at the Oxo restaurant.
Oh, really?
You've gone to the Oxo.
Do you know what? I went to the Oxo. Was it a lychee one that we tried?
Is that with your mum you went? The Oxo
No. The Oxo Tower went with Evelyn. There was a mocktail, or was it a normal cocktail? No, it wasn't a mocktail, actually. It was a normal cocktail because I remember giving my one to Evelyn. Yeah, I think it was normal.
Yeah, the other mocktails you like, you love your pina colada, don't you?
Pina colada is the best one. I'm just trying to think. There was a lychee cocktail that I did have somewhere, but it was an actual cocktail, not a mocktail, and I didn't think much of it. Can't remember. But when we went to Oxford, they did a lychee ice cream, and that was really nice. That was really nice.
So,
but Claire, have you got any lychee this winter? I've not got any lychee, so I've not seen any.
Hey, Ivy's back.
Hey, Ivy, welcome back.
We were just talking about cocktails, your favorite cocktails or mocktails.
Or mocktails, yeah.
When are you guys doing the live again this week? So this week we will be obviously today, and will be Friday at 6 p.m. Well, I always do this 6 p.m. and we're always late. So please, if we're not on by 6, it's because we're always having some form of technical problem.
Yeah, always.
Or somebody decides they need to go to Lou at 6.
Oh, well, I need to go before I come on, otherwise I need to go in the middle of it. And today I went before 6. Thank you very much.
I know. I'm just winding up. I can't get any lychees.
Yes, I've not seen any. We do online shopping, and even when I've typed it in for online shopping, it's not available.
Now I wonder why that is. Is it because of Brexit and we can't get them through, or is it because they're not in season?
No, they're definitely in season, or they should have been.
Yeah, they would be.
December.
Yeah, December.
December is the time to get lychee.
Ivy said try the Asian stores. Yes, because you do get Chinese lychees, and also because these lychees you get from Mauritius.
Yeah,
for the lychees,
because we've got tin lychee, but normally you only get tin, unless I'm just trying to think of there isn't really, we don't have an Asian supermarket.
No, not around here, because obviously Katie likes you tend
London,
to go for the Mauritian lychees.
Yeah, but they are Asian lychees.
Yeah,
they would have brought Asians brought it to Mauritius.
Indian stores. That's interesting, says Ivy.
No, there's not even any Indian stores near us.
No, there isn't.
It's only when we're in central London.
Well, funny enough, this is it. So when I work in North London, there's a lot of Asian stores there I can go to. But here, we haven't got many.
No.
Oh, there is one down the road, actually.
Oh, I'll have it. I know.
Yeah, there is one down the road.
But you know what? Because they used to sell them on London Bridge. I used to get them if ever I was, because I used to work at Cannon Street, and if ever I was at London Bridge, I would get a large box, and I'd take it to work, and I would. And lychees is one of those things that you eat and eat and eat and eat. Yeah. If they're there, you will just eat. You can't stop. And what's nice when you go to Mauritius is some people are growing it in their back garden. My friend, when we were in Mauritius, I had a friend, and we used to work together in London, and we were in Mauritius at the same time. So he came to visit me in one of the hotels that we were staying at. And he brought the lychee from his back garden, and so we're eating fresh lychees from the back garden.
Georgina said, I used to love getting the multicolored mocktail as a kid on holiday abroad in the 90s, always with the little cocktail umbrella. Yeah, that's. I never tried actually the multicolored
No,
ones
I
as well.
never did. Yeah.
But the one I did have when I was a kid is not actually a cocktail, to be fair. It's actually, I used to love getting Knickerbocker Glory with the umbrella in it.
I never got one with an umbrella in it though.
Oh yeah,
Knickerbocker Glory.
where we used to go, the place in Devon we used to go to.
Oh right, but the only place when I was little that you could ever get a Knickerbocker Glory was in Wimpy.
Oh yeah, well there's a Wimpy not so far from us.
Yeah, there
which
is.
is, believe it or not, for
still going.
those of you at a certain age will remember Wimpy.
I used to go to the one in Brixton when I was little.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you always used to go and end up at the one in Brixton. And that was, but the last time, I'm just trying to think of the last time I actually had a Knickerbocker Glory. God, I might have been in my 20s when I had a Knickerbocker Glory. I believe I might have been in Blackpool. It was either Blackpool or Brighton, one of the two. And that was the last time I remember having a Knickerbocker Glory, and it was in the Wimpy.
Now, there's one thing we will do. We have been saying this for a while. We were going to do it actually pre-Christmas, but we didn't get around to doing it. So we will do it in the near future. And that is, talking of Knickerbocker Glories, the ice cream parlour in Fortnum and Mason. So they do an ice cream parlour in Fortnum. Now, we do want to go there and shoot a video there, because we've been saying we're going to do this for a while. And it looks amazing. So that's one thing we are going to try in the new year.
Definitely.
Pandemic warning.
Yeah, allowing.
Oh, Georgina said, I don't know what my dad would ask for, but it will always be a layered pink, blue, and yellow drink. Or the colouring in sugar. I was trying to think what that would be.
Oh, I have no idea.
Is that a cocktail?
It's a mocktail.
Oh, it's a mocktail.
Yeah.
But mind you, I was going to say, all different places tend to do their own versions of drinks as well. So you'll get ones that you just don't get elsewhere. When we went to Lanzarote, you always get the corner. What's it called? The cornerstone.
The golden corner.
Golden corner. They always do sort of multicolored cocktails.
But whenever we go to Lanzarote, we go to the golden corner. They do these milkshakes, and I always say, "Oh, can I have a shot of Bailey's in it?" And they never understood, right? To put a shot of Bailey's in the milkshake and mix it, and then put the cream. No, and so they would bring a shot of Bailey's.
You just have that.
And so I would have to tip it in, but the cream would all be on top. It would be looking nice, ready for me to, drink. And then I'd have to mess it up because I'd have to put the shot of Bailey's in the drink and try and mix it without disturbing all the cream on the top with my little biscuit straw. The cheek of it, not knowing how to put a shot of Bailey's in my chocolate milkshake.
Well, I think it's because you say that. Can I have a chocolate milkshake with a shot of Bailey's? I think
No. I say, and then I said inside. Me and Evelyn sat there for 10-15 minutes trying to explain to the man, put a shot of Bailey's inside the cocktail and just charge me whatever it is, for that shot. But he didn't. And then I said, you know what? And then Evelyn in the end said, just ask for a shot of Bailey's so you can put a shot in.
Yeah. I think that's just the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
So talking of which, has anybody done that actually? Order milkshake and get a shot of something to go in with it? I got some last week in Lidl.
What, some Baileys?
No. I think she's talking about lychees. Are you talking about lychees?
Oh, right. Oh, lychee. Oh, in Lidl.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
All these markets we're going to, and they were.
Oh, yeah. I was going to actual fruit market, like a little a stall, like a fruit stall.
And you just should have gone to Lidl.
All this time I should have gone to Lidl. There's one down the road.
Do you know what? Actually, when I've gone to supermarkets, I've not noticed them in the supermarket.
No, they haven't been in the supermarkets because I've been in the supermarkets. They've not. Even at Christmas time when we went into Sainsbury's, there was none. We went to Morrison's, there was none. So
it looks like Lidl have got them all. They've cornered the market.
Clearly. And even when I had a look online at M&S, they didn't have any. So on the market stores, they didn't have any. But like Claire said, she couldn't get any. But Evelyn said she's got some in Lidl. Funny
enough, I went to M&S. There were none there. Well, I wasn't.
You weren't looking, but you would have noticed.
I would have noticed them. Yeah,
you definitely would have noticed.
I certainly went round and round and round the fruit aisle. So yeah.
I would have noticed in Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
I definitely would have noticed. But and they should still be out now from December to January. You should still be able to get lychee. But not had any, not seen any.
That is it. So we have not had any of the lychee crops. So if anybody's got them, Evelyn, you're lucky because
you're lucky. Yeah,
we're not able to find any others.
If anybody does see any anywhere though, let me know. And at least I can look into it. At least I know they're out there, other than in Lidl. But at least I know they're out there.
Look
I'll
at
have to
that.
look. I'll
Well,
have to,
exactly.
like,
So on one of the
specifically
live,
look.
you could just come on and just say, I found them. They're at da-da-da. I've got to go.
And I'll be like, I want some lychee. I haven't had any lychee this year. I want some lychee.
Is that talking about? So has anybody found anything similar to that? Anything that they've been trying to get hold of and cannot get? Is there anything you've been craving to get and just cannot find it?
At this time, is it like seasonal or is it normal or whatever? Because lychee is seasonal, so you can only get it in winter, and normally you can only get it from December. It's normally December, January.
Yeah.
Normally is when you would get it, because that is the crop. Is that way, but you can get it later. But they normally come from other places. They don't normally come from Mauritius. But I think sometimes in Mauritius you have a good year, you have a bad year, you have a good year, you have a bad year. But with all this climate change and everything, and obviously with the pandemic and all of that type of stuff, it's just been very difficult.
Yeah.
Because stuff has, especially during the pandemic, when stuff, because last year when we were trying to do the bathroom,
Oh God.
our cabinet, which was made in Italy, was, or had been built or made or whatever in Italy, took forever to come into the country.
Months to come through, months
Yeah.
and months to come through. Eventually, we got it in luckily, just in time.
Just in time.
Because the builder was saying, "Look, I've got to finish this job up and move on to the next one."
Mm.
I think, "Oh no, I'm going to be without this cabinet for it." And it was a cabinet that fitted the sink in, so we'd be without a sink.
Mm.
So luckily, it did come through. But yeah, that's just be wary if you are getting building work done. There are delays on certain things if you're ordering.
Maybe not so much now,
Yeah, maybe.
but there was last year there was, but maybe that's what's happening with the fruit and stuff. Maybe because at one point they were saying, oh, they didn't have any HGV drivers or whatever it was. They were all,
Oh yeah,
there
so
was a shortage.
people were making an absolute fortune doing HGV driving. You can actually, some drivers could just command what they wanted. They were so desperate to get the thing in. So if you need a job, HGV is the way to go.
Yeah, if you like driving and all that, and you like long distance driving and all that type of stuff, yeah, that's the way to go. Because there was a shortage. We couldn't get anyone for love nor money, and everything was stuck outside the country and all sorts. It was crazy.
So, changing the subject slightly, do you guys ever do weird non-seasonal eating? So what do I mean by that? Well, do you like to have mince pies in the middle of the summer? Do you like to have eggnog poolside? Is there anything that you do that you enjoy non-seasonally?
Do you know what? I mean, I absolutely love Christmas. Like, I really love Christmas. And Mark and I were talking about it, and I said, "Oh, there's this thing where people have Christmas mid-year, so they have it in June."
Never heard of that.
Yeah. In June.
What's it called?
I don't know what they call it, but I think it's like I think it's called like mid-Christmas or mid-season or something like that.
Has anybody heard of mid-season Christmas? So you celebrate like a mid-season. So basically, I think the idea is it's right slap bang in the year.
Yeah.
In between the two Christmases. So I'm guessing it's going to be June the 21st or 25th. It would be, wouldn't it? 25th, because that would be slap bang. Does anybody celebrate this as well, mid-Christmas? Has anybody heard of it? I have never heard of mid-Christmas.
Yeah, where they celebrate in the middle. But I don't know what they would do. Like, what, put up decorations? What? I don't understand what it is.
Order mince pies. Can you get mince pies off season?
No, but you can get cranberry sauce now, at least, all year round.
Well, now you say no, but when I worked at this is many years ago. This is when I was a student. So I was doing my degree. So I was 19 at the time, and I worked at Tesco. This is Tesco on Oxford Street. And when I used to do the deliveries, we started getting the Christmas stock in right at the beginning of August. So Christmas cakes, all these, it'd be boiling hot outside, and you'd be stacking mince pies and stuff like that in the stock rooms, all ready to go for Christmas.
But because when I was younger, they always used to stock things in September. September was the time. And then a couple of years, they tried to start stocking things in August. And there was an uproar, an absolute uproar about why are you stocking Christmas things in August? And then it stopped. So you don't see things in August now for Christmas. The September you do, yes. Yeah. So they start from September.
Actually, that was a good point. So when I say stocking, we're stocking it in the stock rooms, not out on the shelves. Yeah, I think people get mad for some bizarre reason. Well, if you want to sell it, sell it. If somebody wants to eat it in June, so what? I think people just don't like that pressure. Go, oh my God, Christmas! I got to do some Christmas shopping.
Well, I think a lot of people now, they don't want to hear about Christmas until after Halloween. So
Yeah.
that's how they feel. I feel that they think, let's get over one thing at a time. Now, for me, it doesn't really matter. I like Christmas from whenever. Do you know what I mean? But and I like to celebrate it from whenever. But yeah, a lot of people don't like to sell or to even, they call it the C word. Oh, don't discuss this. I don't want to hear about the C word. But there are some people that put up their decorations from well early because they really love Christmas. I love Christmas. We put our decorations up sort of early, not that early, but we did it at the end of November, didn't we?
So in previous, I've been saying this to Kelly for the last 2-3 years. What invariably ends up happening is I get really, really busy and I don't get time then to go up in the loft. That's why we keep our decks and bring them down. So I invariably, weeks go by. It's the second week in December. I bring them all down. It takes me about a day to put them all up, more than that. And then, of course, by then you think they're only up for about 3 weeks and you have to take them all back down again. So this year I said, I'm going to take them down in November. So we get a whole month and a bit with the Christmas decks. And I'm glad I did it. But yeah, I don't think I would bring them down any earlier than that.
Because I think we did it, yeah, because we did it. I think it might have even been at the beginning of December. It was either the last week of...
No, I did it last week in November. I definitely did it last week in November. Because I put the tree up on the 20... It was at the end of November, but I put the tree up for that reason.
Yeah, the tree was up, but we hadn't put decorations up.
Oh, no, actually, to be fair, so we did start decorating at the end of November, but then you bought more decorations, didn't you?
Yeah, like, because I wanted new proper... Yeah, and then we started putting them up gradually because I wanted better Christmas decorations than what we had.
Yeah.
And I quite liked them, but I want to add a bit more on this side, and I want to decorate. So we've got that part of the wall over there, and I didn't really decorate that, but we did decorate this part of the wall, which was really quite nice. So I'd like to decorate more because this side, because we've got like 2 reception rooms. So we've got the part of the reception room here. This would be classed as 2 reception rooms, except the beam's been taken down. Or the wall's been taken down. So it's all one room now. And we tend to decorate that side of the room. And then this side of the room, for some reason, we just don't decorate it. So this year I said, no, I really want to decorate this side of the room as well. So we did a bit more. So it's almost like, oh, this year we've done this part. Next year we'll do that part. So then at some point it'll all be decorated.
But as a fact, Kelly's idea to decorate the back wall was really, really good. It looks really plain now, but it really emphasised how plain it is until you decorate it.
Yeah. And you took down the socks and everything, the stockings and everything. Yeah.
I quite like that up there now. Look at that. It's just quite plain.
Yeah.
Only decorated by Bailey's bottles.
Yeah. And you even took the Christmas off the Bailey's bottles.
I did. It all had to go down.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like decorating or should I say, I like that when the house is decorated and there's all the Christmas stuff up and everything, and it's all looking festive. And then it does feel a bit of a come down or a letdown when there's no decks up or anything.
No, that is the depressing part. I think this is the depressing part of the year because, like I said, Christmas is gone, so you're now waiting out until the summer comes.
I went out for a quick walk today, like really quick, and it seemed like the weather was like at the build up it is for Christmas.
Oh God,
it was really so miserable. It was wet, and it was like a little bit of a spray wet. It's not even that straight down rain, and yeah, and it was just like, yeah, I just felt it's like Christmas sort of, but not Christmas because Christmas is gone. So yeah.
Well, just remember, for those of you that want a bit of a boost, if you're having the winter blues, remember we have gone past the longest nights, so the shortest day. That was the 21st of December. So the evenings are going to get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter as far as you go.
I think it's 1 minute a day.
Is that
lighter.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute.
But that
a
all
day
adds
lighter.
up. So all up to the 21st of June when it's the longest day.
Yeah. So it'll be a lighter by 1 minute every day.
You don't really notice it until February. So you will notice it when it gets to about mid-February that the evenings will start to get slightly lighter.
Yeah, and then the clocks change in March.
Yes, which is the bit I hate.
Yeah, and you're like,
listen, I struggle to get up as it is with the clocks back. When they put them forward, that's when I really struggle. I just want them put the clocks back and just leave it. Just leave it.
Yeah. I think they do it for, well, I don't know, that's for several reasons, but it only, I think it only really benefits maybe London. I don't know if it benefits anywhere else.
Well, no, the real reason they put the clocks back was for farmers originally. So it gives them an extra, what they call daylight saving. So you're basically getting extra hours daylight. But in actual fact, this was done during the war, First World War. So now it's actually when you've got modern technology, it's no benefit at all. They're just best off just putting them back and just leaving it.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know if you guys knew, but medical science does say it takes your body, believe it or not, 3 months to adjust to a clock change. 3 months. You don't feel it, but it does take your body roughly on average about 3 months to adjust. So just as your body, of course, every 6 months you change it. So just as your body adjusts it, they're getting around to changing it again.
Yeah, I don't think that really.
Oh, Karen, hello. Says, hope you're both okay.
Hey,
we are well.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. We both said that in unison, which is good.
We did.
How was your Christmas? Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy?
Did you have a good New Year?
Yeah.
Did everyone have a good New Year? Did everyone have a good Christmas?
We always ask that. That's the other thing they were saying on the radio as well. They said, when is it that you can stop wishing people a happy New Year? When is it the time that you stop doing that? Is it the end of January? Is it when it hits February? Is there a time you stop saying Happy New Year?
I feel like.
So if you haven't seen anybody in the new year, say you saw them in March, would you wish them a Happy New Year, or would you just not do it? Auntie, all good, thank you, says Karen. All good. I'm so glad you had a good Christmas break.
I don't know, because I feel like now is the time to stop saying Happy New Year.
But is there there's never really a cut-off point, is there?
There's never really a cut-off point, but I think if you keep saying Happy New Year to the end of January, I feel like that's just a bit extra.
Chloe, hello.
Hey, Chloe, how are you?
You good? You just joined us?
So I think that...
I was going to say Happy New Year, but we have wished you a Happy New Year.
Yeah, we have. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people, if I haven't seen people or something like that, I would wish them Happy New Year.
So that's what we've got. As first starter from Karen. So Karen says, I think it's about a week.
Yeah, I would say that. Like, yeah, I would agree with you, to be quite honest.
Do you know what though? I tend to do. I call it my January rule. So I'll do it all the way through January, only to people that I haven't seen. So Happy New Year to people I haven't seen. But I've noticed that as January goes on, people do tend to sort of say to me, "Oh God, it seems like an age ago now."
Yeah.
But that's it. When I hit February, I wouldn't do it. I would, even if it's somebody I hadn't seen for a while.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's not something. Yeah, I think about a week is right. I think Karen's right. I think a week is fine.
So Karen has set the standard. It is a week.
That's it.
If that's the case, it would have been last Friday or last Sunday. You would have stopped it. That's a debate. I do tend to drag it out to the end of January. I must be honest.
Yeah, because I hear you saying Happy New Year to people, and I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, but there's so many people that. Especially now, so in this pandemic, like where I'm working mainly from home at the moment, and so of course I don't see a lot of people in the office as I normally would.
Yeah.
So they only come up if I'm invited to a virtual meeting and they're there, and that's what I tend to do.
But do other people say it before you, or you say it before other people?
I say it. I always say it. Karen says February is the start of thinking about the spring.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? It's true, but I always classify February and March as winter. For me.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
For me, spring only begins. Oh no, this is my definition of it. Spring only begins once you've had your Easter holiday.
Oh really?
That's how I see it. I know it's officially it's earlier than that, but once Easter has.
For me, I see spring as April. The beginning of April to me is spring.
Yeah.
And Easter can be in April.
Easter's mainly in April, but I think once you've had your Easter break.
March, normally.
March, it has been for the last couple of years, but not normally.
Yeah.
Karen said March, then we spring forward to the lighter evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. That's when the clocks go forward in the end of March.
So for me, April is spring.
Yeah.
And that's when you get all the showers, although we're having showers now. But at least it should be sunnier showers in April.
So what is everybody's favorite time of year? I'm going to start and I'm going to say, so my favorite time of year is actually that time, April to May. The reason being is like the winter then, is finally gone. But I prefer it then, and I know summer's coming up. The reason why I prefer that as well, rather than summer per se, is I know that anticipation that summer's going to come. So I've got all summer to come. I think once you hit summer, you think, well, this is going to end.
Yeah, soon.
Soon.
I think I understand completely what you mean, but for me, I like summertime.
Yeah.
But I understand what you mean because I feel the same when we're going to go on holiday. So when Mark and I are about to go on holiday, Mark always says to me, what's your favorite part of going on holiday? And my favorite part is when we're having breakfast at the airport, because I know while we're having breakfast at the airport, we've got all that time on holiday, whereas yours isn't. Yours is when we land.
Yeah, mine's when we land. Because, well, for me, I hate the journey.
Yeah.
The journey bit is for me is just I can't stand. So that is a symbol for me. That we've landed, we've done all that bit I hate, and now we've got the whole holiday to go. Karen says April is Easter for the real spring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that does make sense. I think it's that, for me, it's that anticipation that you've got the good stuff to come. That's why I like it. Karen also said, mine is summer, but then I do enjoy the dark evenings in the winter, only for a while.
Oh, really? You see, I don't enjoy the darkness. I mean, I like being out at night and stuff like that, but I don't like the earliness of the earliness of the darkness. Like, you know, it's 5 o'clock and it's dark. I don't like that.
Do you know what, though? I will say that what Karen says as well. There is a novelty factor about winter. There is something nice. Well, you know, you come in from the cold and you go into a nice, warm, toasty house. That's lovely. But I've got to be honest, by January, end of January, beginning of February, I am sick to death of winter.
You're done with it.
I'm done with it. I thought, right, enough now. I'm really sick to death of this cold weather. Georgina says, I'm with you, Kelly, on breakfast at the airport.
Yeah.
The start of the anticipation. Do you know what, Georgina, I can't believe, so you two are the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what, my favourite time of any holiday, Kelly says that to me, and to me, that's just totally bizarre. I tell you why, and I'm not dissing what you guys are saying, either of you, but for me, I know you've got the whole journey to come, but I just don't like the journey thing. I think for me, I've got that's just a symbol. I've got the whole blimmin' flight to go. But my favourite part of the holiday is once you've done all the journey time, you've checked in, and then when you open your room and bring your suitcases in, that's my favourite bit, because I've done all the travelling, I've done the checking and all that malarkey with front of house, and then this is it. You think, right, I actually begin my holiday now. I've got the entire holiday to come.
Look, for me, I just feel that, you know, you packed your suitcases, you're going to get your cab or train or however anybody gets to the airport and stuff, and then you're checking in all your stuff and everything else. Now all your stuff is gone. It's all now, you know, so now you're only dragging along your little suitcase and your little bag. And now you're going to go find somewhere, you're going to sit down, you're going to really enjoy, but you're going to look around the duty free, you know, enjoy your breakfast. I always like to get an arrow words. I love doing my little arrow words.
Sorry, Karen said, anyway, nice to drop in on you too. Take care, give it to us. Okay, take care, Karen. Lovely. Thank you for dropping in.
Thank you for joining us. Take care. Have a good evening. But I really like the holiday. For me, that's the beginning of the holiday, when you sit down. So you've done all your shopping at duty free, you sit down, have your breakfast, and then you're only waiting to get on the plane.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of the holiday for me. We go and get our little Starbucks.
Yeah, that's nice. I do like that. But I think, for me, I'm not a big fan of flying either. So I know that's another reason why I'm not a big fan of that part of it. But once you landed, that's it. Holiday to go for me. So that is my favourite part of the holiday.
So when you land, what's your favourite thing? The first thing off the holiday, if that makes sense.
Depending on where we're going, I like the taxi ride there because I know I'm on my way. But I've got to say, once you're in the hotel, that dumping the bags is my favourite bit.
Yeah.
But I still like it keeping going. So, like, you know, what we tend to do. So when we land, depending on what time we land, but we tend to get an early flight. So we try and get in early.
Yeah, we try.
So we roughly always land around afternoon, either early afternoon or just coming into the afternoon. So once we've dumped our bag and done all of that, we then tend to go out for we get dressed, and then we tend to go for some.
Yeah.
That's how I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like, if we're going, again, like, depend. But to be fair, I like when we just leave, we just set up in the bedroom, sort of do all we need to do, like putting our bags away or whatever it is, and then we go out for something to eat.
Yes,
That's what I like to
I
do.
do like that, and you know your holiday has started when you've gone out for something to eat.
Yeah, I like that. I like sort of like putting down the stuff. And then like if it's Vegas, it's like nice to go and find somewhere to eat, and then we're gonna go have a little go on the slots or something. And then we know that tomorrow we're just gonna go up and down the strip and do whatever. If it's Florida, we know, you know, we're probably gonna go somewhere to in Point Orlando.
Yeah.
Normally Bahama Breeze, normally, or somewhere else.
Bahama Breeze.
And then we're either gonna eat in the hotel room, or we're going to go to the restaurant or something, and do that. Or, you know, we just go for a quick walk sometimes to Walmart to pick up a few things. And I feel, and what I like is when you're there that the air is warm, everything is warm.
Yeah.
You know you're on holiday. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're on holiday. It's just like everything's calm. It's calm.
Georgina says, though can and only relax once off the plane. As with the strikes, etc., you can never guarantee you'll be flying even when you're on the plane. Oh, I know.
Let me tell you, I know. Sometimes we get delayed, and it's just like, oh, for goodness sake, we booked the flight early so we could get to the place early, and it's just a madness. But yeah,
Oh my God, Georgina said, I've heard stories of people being asked to get off plane because of fuel. Oh my God, we've never heard that before.
never heard that before.
We have been on, when we've been on the plane, and it's been massively delayed. So we've been sitting there on the tarmac, and they said, oh, sorry, there's been a delay.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, we did that once. Our plane was delayed. Most cases that we've been delayed is that we've just been sitting in the airport waiting to board. That's the main thing. And a lot of that is due to weather.
Yeah.
So they'll move us on.
Or there's been times when we've gone and the connecting flight has been delayed. So you're sitting there thinking, well, hang on a second, I booked this flight, you know, so we could get there early, and we paid extra so we could get there early, and now you're telling me that the flight is delayed. Are you mad? That's what makes me mad.
But we have had the opposite as well happen as well. So whereas the connecting flight would normally be give us plenty of time, our initial flight's been late, so we land and we've got minutes then to run. And these airports are huge. We've got to run all the way across. Then you've got to go through customs. There was one where we were going, wasn't it, to where was it? Florida, actually.
Was it?
It was a connecting flight from Chicago, and it was just we had to run through the airport.
Oh yeah, but we had to take a bus and all of this,
God.
and we had a little limited amount of time and all of that type of stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh God, yeah, we just made it as well. Then the plane took off, so we were okay. But...
And sometimes when you're taking a connecting flight, depending on the flight, they want you to take your own baggage and then recheck it in. So you've got to grab your baggage from one place and go to another place, put that baggage in, and then do that. So that's crazy.
Evelyn's favorite is lying by the pool. Yeah, that's gotta say that's one of the reasons why you go on holiday is for the laying by the pool.
I think if you go to somewhere like Lanzarote, let's say one of those types of holidays where you are specifically going to the pool or specifically going to the beach, that is one of those holidays. So just laying around the pool with a nice little drink or whatever, that is nice. But if you're going to somewhere like Florida or Vegas or something, although I do like lazing around the pool in Vegas, I do. I don't laze around the pool in Florida because it's never a great pool, and there's always somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But if I'm with Evelyn, we do make a point of going to. So Evelyn and I, we went to Portaventura. I think it was in Salou. So it was in a place called Salou. And they had like a sort of like a theme park there, and we went there and we went to their water park. And I tell you that holiday was so hot. I swear I had a touch of heat stroke in that park because when we got there was no shade, so we were sitting there. And Evelyn was putting her little sarong up over her head, and I was there sort of like trying to read a book but couldn't read the book. It was so bright, it was so sunny, it was so hot. And then finally, these other people got up and we went and we sat over there. And I was trying to read my book. And all of a sudden I went, and it was almost like I'd fainted. And I must have passed out for about 20 minutes. It was that hot. That was the heat stroke. It just passed out for about 20 minutes. And then came to and it was fine. Yeah. So that was a really hot, nice holiday. That holiday was so hot. But yeah, I do like going on those types of holidays as well. But I also like going on the ones on to the Florida ones. Yeah.
There we are. So guys, we have been going for 2 hours. We've really enjoyed it, actually. Thank you so much for joining. So I think we'll end there. So thank you so much for joining us on the live. As always, we really enjoy your company and really appreciate your comments as well. It really helps us with our conversation as well. As always, we love interacting with you guys as well. We also really, as always, really appreciate your support. So thank you everybody that joined us and also that watches up on Catch Up.
Yeah.
So as Ivy asked very nicely, we will be back on Friday, 6 p.m. UK time. So if you can, please join us. We will discuss more topics. We always like to do a real wide range of topics, but always feel free to pick a topic for us to discuss. We're always happy to answer your questions.
Yeah, ask us any questions. I was about to say, drop us any questions and stuff like that, and we'll try and answer them.
But anyway, as always, please look after yourselves, take care, stay safe, and we will see you in the next live Friday at 6 p.m. Until then, remember, you are never too old to have fun. Until the next live, look after yourselves, take care, and we will see you then.
Bye for now. Bye.